Hello everyone, this is Vinyl and Paper, where I talk about stationery and paper products and vinyl records. Today I'm going to be talking about pens and flexi discs, two very fun topics for me. So I'm ready here with my Mocha Americano, and let's get started. So before I get into the records, I'm going to do the paper topic first. Okay, I wanted to talk about the ecosystem or collection of pens that I use today. This is ever evolving. I'm always honing in on what pens I love the most, and this is basically my collection now. I am someone who uses a different pen for different purposes, and I'm going to talk through them using my paper ecosystem, which I have talked about in the past. And again, this is ever evolving, but this is what works for me at the moment. I will start with my 1 line a day journal. This is a 5-year journal where you write 1 line a day every single day, and the journal lasts 5 years. I'm on my second one. And in my 1 line a day journal, I use a fountain pen. I only have one right now, although I did add 2 others to my Christmas wish list this year. They're also on the more affordable side, like this one, but it's really fun to write with a fountain pen. This is a Kaweko Sport in a light blue / kind of minty color, and it has been very well loved. It's full of nicks and ink over here. This is a cartridge fountain pen, so you basically, when you run out of ink, you replace this plastic bit, and it's not, you don't get involved with the bottles of ink and the piston and everything. I do want to try that, but for now I've been using this and it's really fun. It has a nice weight to it. I'm not sure why I prefer to use a fountain pen in my 1 line a day journal, but this is exclusively the pair. This pair right here. I do also like signing things with the fountain pen because, come on, that's just fun. So that's that combination. And as you could see, I have a green ink in there right now. I really like using dark green and a brown. Those are the ones that I'm just into at the moment. The next I will show you is, this is my knockoff Hobonichi. It's the brand Kinbor. And in this one, I use a gel pen. And where is it? This is the one. This is the one that I use. This is a Zebra Sarasa Dry, 0.5 millimeter. Now, a friend recommended this one to me when I was looking for another gel pen, and one specifically that didn't smudge with Mildliners, which I love using. And a friend of mine recommended the Zebra Sarasa Dry because the dry part, he said, this is actually a popular gel pen or pen with left-handed writers because it dries quickly. So I got the pen and found that it does actually smudge. Maybe I didn't leave enough time, but I tend to leave 10 seconds or something before highlighting, and this streakiness, I just can't deal with. Also, I love a 0.5 millimeter, but to me, this one writes a lot more inky and dark and a little bit thicker. It feels a little bit between 0.5 and 0.7. So honestly, I'm kind of just trying to use this up. It's not really my favorite, but I'm using it in this planner because the bigger pages, I don't know, the thicker line kind of fits well for me in here. So some examples of what it looks like. There's that one. The next is, this is my planner that I use as a life log. It's a Kokuyo Jibun Techo. And I also must use a gel pen in this one. And that, for now, is the Zebra Sarasa Marcon. I've used this pen for years. It was my holy grail gel pen for a while. specifically the 0.5, I've actually refilled it a couple of times. You can buy these cartridges separately. But I, in the last year, have found that it's actually a little bit scratchy for me. So I think I want to try something else when I finish this one. I have tried the Pentel Energel Cleana, and I love that pen, but the casing like started splitting down the side when I was nearing the end of it, which wasn't great, but might be worth it to me because I also like the form factor a little bit more than this one. It's like a little bit longer, which I like in a pen. I like a long pen. But this one has served me well for years, and I do really like it. So no complaints. And then the fourth kind of writing that I use a very particular kind of pen with is my journal. I switch up journal formats every few years. I'm on the composition notebook right now, but in my journals, I need to use a ballpoint. And I've kind of been on a quest to find a good ballpoint for a while. I asked for one for Christmas that I've heard really great things about from the pen community, so we'll see how that goes. But for now, something I do like to do is buy a pack of like office supply store ballpoints that are easy to find because I like keeping a pen in every single bag of mine. I have a bunch of different totes that I switch out, and I just like drop one in every single tote. For years, I used the Bic round stick. Now, this one I like because it's long and I like having that weight on the end when I write. So that's a good thing. And the line, though, isn't really dark enough for me. So it's a good pen, but I was, looking for something else for my next pen. The next one I tried was the Bic Soft Feel. Now, an artist that I know recommended this one to me. This is the one that she buys a million of and keeps in every bag, and she loves it. So I thought, okay, trying it. I do like this rubber grip down here, but it's two things that don't really work for me. It's not long enough, so three things actually. It's not long enough, so it's not as comfortable to write with because I don't have that extra weight on the end. Also, the tip doesn't come out enough for my preference. Like, I need a tip to be like, to come out a lot. Otherwise, it's just, I don't know, it doesn't feel right. And then the last thing that doesn't really work for me is this line is also not dark enough for me. It actually looks like pretty okay now, but when you're writing on like multiple pages at once, it's just not, it doesn't work for me. So it's taken me a long time to get through these because I bought each one in a pack of at least 10. So it's taken me years, but I'm finally running low. Then the next one I bought was another Bic, the Bic Crystal. I never considered this one because when I was a teenager, this pen did not treat me well. It was always a pen in the pen cup at home, and I would take it out and there would be a huge glob of ink on the end that would make the paper a sticky mess. But recently I've heard the pen community be obsessed with this pen and say that it's like the holy grail. You can't get any better than this with like an office supply store pen. So I thought maybe the R&D, the manufacturing got better. So I bought a pack and I do really like it. It doesn't have that problem anymore. There is one in the pack that does glob up, like leave globs in the middle of your lines, which I hate, but it's more of an exception than a rule for the pens in the pack that I got. So I'm actually happy with this one as my put in every tote ballpoint. The last one I'll share is a random like mystery ballpoint pen. I don't know where I got this. It has no markings or branding on it at all. I don't know if it's like a blanks pen that you can buy, have your logo put on or whatever. I don't know. I don't know where I got this, but it's a retractable pen. Even though it's still like long enough for me, the tip comes out enough and it writes really, really well. and the barrel is a little bit thicker, so that makes it more comfortable. So this one I will tend to use at home when I'm journaling, while these other ones are my carry with me pens for the most part. Right now I've been alternating these when I journal. Now when I'll talk about one more thing, and that is this pencil. So not a pen. This is a Tombow. It says Homograph Mono 4B. My mom gave me a pack of these for Christmas last year, and I will use this pencil when I need to bring my planner with me and I don't have a lot of room or time to fuss with all the Mildliners and stuff. I'll just bring these two, and I'll like mark things out lightly, like my sleep schedule. Like sometimes when I'm on a very quick trip, I'll do this, or I'll mark out like appointments that I'm not sure if I'll keep them or if they'll get canceled. And then I bought this like cool little pencil cap at an art supply store a couple of years ago that I can use to carry this around with me so it doesn't like smudge up my bag and anything I put it in. For erasers, I use this Sakura Sumo Grip. I think I may have gotten this on Jet Pens, but it's just a really good quality eraser. And then this one is a retractable eraser. It's pretty cool. It's also the Tombow brand, Mono Zero, it says. And it's this like rectangular shape. And it's really good for detailed erasing. Like if I have a bunch of stuff going on and I only want to erase a tiny piece, I will use this. This was given to me also by my mother for Christmas one year, and it was a lovely little surprise. I had never seen that before. And then the last thing I'll talk about with pens and pencils is my sharpener. This is my pencil sharpener, super simple. M+R, I guess is the brand, made in Germany. It's very heavy, which I love. And I just keep it at home to sharpen my pencil very occasionally, since I don't really use the pencil a lot. And that's pretty much it. When I do want to carry all of my pens with me, I will carry them in this really cute clear pencil case by Kokuyo. It has a magnet enclosure on top and this little inner pouch that comes out. And I'll just toss everything in here along with the eraser if I'm bringing a pencil and my correction tape. And that is it. So that's all for my favorite slash rotation of pens right now. And now let's get into the records. Okay, as I mentioned, today we're talking about flexi discs. Now, what are those? Flexi discs are vinyl records that are pressed on a very thin vinyl sheet. They originated in the 1960s, and they were typically included in magazines as bonus audio content. They were very cost-effective to produce at the time, and they could be bound directly into the seam of a magazine. So, pretty easy to manufacture. I heard that sometimes they were hard to play because they're so light, they would skip. And people were sometimes advised to weigh the flexi disc down on their turntable by either putting a little weight on top, and sometimes there was a spot on the face of the record for a coin to go on to do that weight. I thought that was just so cool, and it's actually not the first time I've had coins and records in the same thought. I had a pretty affordable one of those suitcase style turntables as my first ever record player, and I was complaining about the records skipping a lot, and I thought it was the records, but a friend of mine who knows a lot about vinyl suggested that I tape a coin to the top of the stylist to weigh it down a little bit. These more affordable turntables don't have a lot of like counterweight technology on the arms and the styluses, and that actually did the trick. But I don't recommend doing that for a long time because I've heard it can damage your records. I eventually ended up getting a more standard turntable. But anyway, coins and records, who knew? Some kinds of flexi disc content that I heard about include nature, comedy, computers, and of course music. So for nature, I read that National Geographic used to release flexi discs every now and then. They released one series of them with bird sounds and then another with whale calls, which is, it's just such a cool way to enhance the experience of, if you're a nature lover and you get National Geographic, to like get this additional nature related content that like brings it alive more. For comedy, I heard that Mad Magazine would include these in some of their issues with like comedic content on them. And the one that is the most interesting to me is computers. So computer magazines sometimes started providing software in audio form on flexi discs in the magazines. So once upon a time, computer magazines would have entire source codes for small programs, like let's say a game, printed on their pages, and a person would have to have this magazine open and copy manually type it into their computer to then be able to have a copy of the game that they could play. And the flexi disc gave readers an alternative to manually typing it in. So what they could do was they could play the flexi disc, which had an audio version of the code, and then dub that onto an audio cassette tape from which the program could be loaded into the computer. Wow. And then music, of course. I heard that the Beatles would sometimes send flexi discs to people in their fan club, and flexi discs were also popular, very popular in the Soviet Union from the 60s to 90s, and they were included in teen magazines. In the Soviet era, so this is one of the coolest facts about flexi discs. If you look them up or see articles and stuff about them, you'll probably hear this first. In the Soviet era, there was a shortage of vinyl for producing these. So they, for a time, were printed on discarded medical x-ray prints. And when I looked further into this today, I learned about a site where you can buy some of these old x-ray flexi discs. The really cool ones where you can like see the bones are actually pretty pricey. They're like a couple $100s, but there are other ones listed on the site that I saw that are as low as $30. Really, really cool, weird historical music plus medical trivia. They started being phased out. I heard that with CDs and the internet, they kind of rendered flexi discs largely obsolete. And I understand that, but I don't know why it has to be that way. I mean, these serve a very different purpose than a CD or streaming. Like, imagine getting a magazine and opening it and finding this like delightful little treat in it that you can like pull out and play for bonus content that will enhance your experience. Also, though, I mean, I guess I understand that the technology and equipment to produce something that isn't mass produced anymore can probably get expensive and not be good for margins. But I'm happy to see that they're still pressed from time to time as a novelty. In the 2010s, flexi discs started getting popularity again as like a gimmick. And they started being pressed and released by different companies, including Decibel magazine. So Decibel is a heavy metal magazine, and their issues would have a flexi disc in each one with a, bonus song on it. So that's where these are from. I didn't get them from the magazine. I actually saw these in a record store, and I had never seen these before. I was like, what is this? So they were $3 to $5 each. I just bought a few and then researched them. So such a cool history. I love that I have these. Just a quick note about these actual songs. This one is by Skeletal Remains, a song called Planetary Genocide. This has a really big thrash sound to me, or like a Pantera in the 90s sound, like very fast, very heavy, very energetic. This orange one is by Haunt, and it's a song title called Ghosts. Now that's a fun title to me because when I put this on, first of all, it sounds totally different from the Skeletal Remains one. This starts with like a melodic, more guitar harmony intro that reminds me of Ghost or Iron Maiden. And then this green one is by Chemist, a song called Empty Throne. And this one starts out with a heavier kind of stoner sound, but with clear vocals. One thing I love about the flexi discs is they have a lot of noise on them, like the crackly, staticky clicks and pops. Whenever I see records reviewed, if there's noise on the record, they tend to get docked a star. Like, people don't like it, but I actually love hearing the clicks and pops of a vinyl record. I think for me, it improves the experience. So these are very noisy, very understandably lo-fi sounding, and just really fun to pop on from time to time. I also really like that these particular ones are 33 1/3 speed, which means I have a little bit of a lower fi turntable and I have to physically move the belt when I have to change speeds. And it's really annoying because it like falls off and I have to realign it. So with these, I don't have to change the speed at all. But anyway, yeah, there you have it. That concludes my spiel about my pen collection right now, and rotation, and then flexi discs. So I'd love to show you how one of these sounds, that noise I talked to you about. So meet me at the turntable and we'll go put one on. Actually, one thing before I do that, I forgot to mention that when I was playing these again this morning, I noticed this logo, Holy Mountain Printing, on the front of each of these, and I decided to look them up. It turns out they are a screen printing company out of North Carolina who makes a bunch of different metal merch, like records, shirts, pins, comics, tapes. The tagline on the footer of their site says black metal, black shirts, black coffee, and I was just like, yes. Their art and designs look really nice, so I'm going to spend a little bit of time perusing their site after filming this, and maybe you should too. So shout out to Holy Mountain Printing, and now let's go listen to one of these. Alrighty. As I mentioned, I have a 12-inch down on the platter already. And we're just gonna press the flexi disc down on top and then top that with a 45 adapter. And let's see if I can line this up well for you to hear these beautiful clicks and pops. Oh yeah. It's so good, right? Anyway, thank you for watching. That is Pens and Flexi Discs. Have a great one all. Bye!